What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a VIRI technicals and raw price action thread of analysis. I am coming to you from my parents' house right now. It is not going to be the new school way. We're going to take it raw. We're going to take it back to the original way that I used to make these videos, right? Without the flashy intros, without the Hollywood ARCa. So let's go ahead and dive into ticker symbol VIRI. Now, team, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, share this video with another friend, and join the Discord. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to take you back to the original chart where we were looking at VIRI here, and this was that ascending wedge or rising wedge that we were riding for quite some time, and we spoke about the potential upside right before they announced that ridiculous catalyst that was just never supposed to be announced, and we spoke about the downside, right? So please look at this downside target. I mean, look at what we had already here. We were already speculating the potential of an 87.49 drop, of which, to be honest, the first drop came down to around 90.08. So at least for those of you who have been viewing my channel and who have been keeping up with the VIRI videos, you would have already known that this could have been a potential already. Although I have to be honest, there's no way I could have known what was announced to create this huge capitulation. But nonetheless, incredible price action today. I love what we saw. If you happen to hear the little guy back there, he's with the grandparents right now swimming. He is having a hard time getting out of the pool because he feels like he's done, but they want to take him to Chuck E. Cheese. Anyway, done with that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have here, team, because I do see a couple areas of confluence and a couple areas of resistance coming up to the upside that we should kind of note here, right? So do I want to talk about the statistics? You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and speak about the statistics first. So this is volatility versus momentum, and I've taken a back test of this of any time that volatility has expanded into critical zones, which is, in this example, it would be within the 90 percentile. So anytime that volatility has expanded into that 90 percentile and has started any type of pivot to the downside, meaning contraction, I've paired that with stochastic momentum's upside pivot, and I've also measured the duration of that iteration, the upside thrust, and the amount of times that iteration has gotten the upside correctly versus incorrectly. So in this case, the 5-day time frame throughout the entire trading history has shown us 5 iterations of which 5 have been guessed correctly to the upside. This gives us a 100% upside accuracy with the average upside thrust, aka mean, of 64.76. Apologies, team. This is just, it's not my place here. So it's just going to be a little weird. So it does have an average duration of 50 days. It's funny because it's been quiet for like 3 hours while analyzing this, and then bam, phone call. Anyway, so I did calculate the standard deviation of this. So that comes up to a move that is 60.24 with a pretty large upper bound of the first standard deviation, landing at about 125% to the upside. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because this is essentially, I would say, half of the signal has officially been fired, and that is actually found with contraction and with an upside pivot, right? So you can see here that stochastic momentum does not have that upside pivot just yet. So as soon as we can get this upside pivot, we would be able to kind of validate this move and then start the counting of the mean, the standard deviation, the upper bound of the first standard deviation, and all that. So I know that it's still facing to the downside, but I do have a trick for you, and this is something that I can present to you as a potential option for you to see where this could be headed, right? So if you can see here, K% representing the 14-day simple moving average, and D% representing the 3-day exponential moving average by the yellow line. The 14 is the blue line. And I have a smoothing factor of about 3, right? So what I can do here is, instead of using a 3-day exponential moving average, I can use a 1-day, and I can use a smoothing factor of 1, and you can see clearly where the asset can be headed. Check it out. Bam. So we already have an upside pivot on stochastic momentum, and that is using a very close look back period. So just to give you kind of an indication of what is to come, this is the fastest way that I can make the stochastic momentum react to our current price action, right? So let's go ahead and just put this back to normal. And because I do like to have it incredibly lagged for a reason. I like to keep this just really delayed in order for us to give us an accurate read, right? So as of now, yes, there is still downside momentum, but that's because of this entire capitulation that we faced, right? So yeah, as soon as we do fire that signal to the upside within the very lagged indicator, then we would be able to apply these metrics. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next target, and this is something to the next chart, and this is something that I would like to show you. So this is the divergence chart. You're looking at the 3-day chart here for VIRI, and what you're noticing is that we have let's see, one drive of hidden bullish divergence being the fact that we're creating a lower low on price action. On a momentum right here, lower low, and we're creating a higher low in price action, right? So that is what divergence is. It is the opposition of price action versus momentum, and in this case, momentum represented by the relative strength index. RSI indicator, right? So I know it says ARC. It's mine. It's my script. I just created it so I can, display this in specific colors for you. The upper half is the bullish control zone. The bottom half is the bearish control zone. The outer boundaries of the RSI are the strength percentile, so bull strength and bear strength, and you have bear weakness and bull weakness, right? Just so you can kind of know what's happening here, right? So so now we have one variety of a hidden bullish divergence. So one drive of that, which is the lower lows and the higher lows in price action, right? And then the other variety we have is actually one massive regular bullish divergence, which is creating a lower low in price action. It's quite the opposition, right? And a higher low in momentum. So that would be this right over here. So I included this image here so that you can take an image of it in case you are curious over how divergent drives work within momentum. And this pivot here, this aggressive pivot to the upside, validates both of these in a long term and short term, suggesting that there is an upside to be seen here, and there is an upside to be there is a continuation to that upside, to be very clear. So now if we can go ahead and pull up the ARQ algorithms, the ones that we just released, right? So please, if you are interested in acquiring any of these indicators, our algos, please go ahead and reach us at arqindicators@gmail.com, and we're going to load up Composure here to see if we have any signals that may indicate some type of upside from the shorter term, right? So daily time frame, let's go ahead and go back on that and see what we have. Nothing yet, but usually these work best in the shorter time frame period. So let's go ahead and look at the 4-hour and see what's going down there. Nothing yet. Let's look at the hourly time frame and see where we're going to start cascading from. Right, so let's just go ahead and load this thing. Come on. There we go. All right, so yeah, in fact, we definitely do. So let's see. I know somebody caught actually manipulation. This indicator is able to catch manipulation too. So this blue triangle printed here, followed by this yellow triangle, is a pretty bullish signal, right? The bullish signal comes in with the blue triangle signaling that this trend is pretty much over, and the next step to the upside may be likely. The yellow triangle signals the EMA2 crossing upside of the EMA8. That's the 2-period exponential moving average, or 2-day exponential, or the over the 8-day exponential moving average. And so far this is actually looking pretty good and still suggesting an upside continuation. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here thus far. And if I could actually just pull up DBSI, that's going to give us the clear strength results, and we should probably look into this in a 30-minute time frame too, just to see if we have any check it out. In the hourly time frame, it's already great. We have the 76% bull control, and chances are is that we're upside of the 13-day exponential moving average. So I want you to click on that menu. For those of you who are already owners of the ARQ indicators, go ahead and click on the menu here, and then under inputs, go ahead and display average price, right? So that average price would display a 13-day exponential moving average, of which is used by the indicator to measure how many candles upside of the 13-day and how many candles below the 13-day to display this average strength, or the relative strength. And yeah, so throughout any time frame, right? So just like we said, we're upside of the 13-day simple moving exponential moving average, and we're using it as a guide towards the upside. So this is incredibly bullish. We also printed a cyan blue circle here, which indicates a buy signal, right? So this is pretty good. Now, if you can just take a look at the RSI here in the hourly time frame, you see that we're coming down, right? So yeah, we are coming down. I would pair this SMA 14 with the RSI with the in this case, right? It's not always like this, right? So I would pair it with the exponential 13 period here to signal that this could be an opportunity for a potential long zone, right? So you can get long this asset at around 115 to about, we'll be clear about it. I know we're on the RSI chart, but I'll go ahead and just mention it here. So between the area of about 113 and 117, we can expect, my goodness, come on, I am not as good without my ergonomic mouse, the huge trackball thing. So 115 to 117 could be that pullback in respects to the EMA 13 down here before a continuation to the upside, that is. So we have very short-term downside. I actually expect this to kind of not last for very long at all, right, before we can, And one more thing to look at here, team, is this is what we were looking at during the live stream. We mentioned that we could face some resistance right up here within this zone, 123 to 131. Of course, price action ended up going to a top side of about 127. So, so here is, I know that this is 112 here, but I would really have to favor the top side of these candles here. So that would be 115 yet again. So yeah, 115 to 117 could be a pretty nice area to consider for a loading zone. And check it out, the EMA 21 located right at 115. What do you know? This is massive confluence. I do expect us to continue on to the upside with violent volatility and momentum. I can see this asset reaching upside of the 142 to 156 target with a focus at the 142 target in respects to the 4-hour EMA 55. So I am expecting this to continue. And now one more thing that we can do to determine, that potential upside is from this formation itself, which we witnessed break out live. You can take a trend line from the top side of the triangle to the bottom side of the triangle in the center of the triangle, right? And then you apply it to that breakout candle, and this will tell you what the target would have been like upon that breakout. And what do you know? We had it right there. So we would have already known that target too. This is why we were suggesting these, right, guys? So now the other target that you can get is actually from the larger point of the triangle. So you apply it right over here, and then what do you know? Check it out. EMA 55 confluence. We're already talking about a target in a focus of 142. Of course, the range is 130. Man, come on, let's speak English, yeah? So 142 to 156, and I do see this as highly probable as hitting for tomorrow. So I think that's a pretty good place to leave off with this video. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.